Our learning objectives for today are: first, define annuity. So, dapat alam niyo in the end yung meaning ng annuity. Kung paano nangyayari, kailan nangyayari, na pag napunta kayo sa ganitong sitwasyon, alam niyo na, annuity pala yung tawag doon. Next is, to differentiate the types of annuity. Actually, dito we have several types eh. But for the sake of this session, dalawa lang i-discuss muna natin. And syempre, dapat in the end, malaman nyo kung ano yung pinagkaiba ng bawat isa. So lastly, you should be able to solve problems involving annuity. This is the most important one. Kasi diba, alam mo na nga yung definition, you know the difference between each type. Siyempre, dapat alam mo rin kung paano i-apply. So, dapat you'll be able to solve a given problem and then ma-explain mo how it happens. Para if maka-encounter ka ng ganun, mapa-board exam man yan or work, alam mo na yung gagawin mo. Okay? So, let's begin. So, I have here 2 IG templates and then I'll be showing photos. You try to observe what they flex. This is the first photo. And this is the second one. So I expected here that you'll see money for a certain intention. And then you can see that it's part of a savings. Kasi diba, you're saving a certain amount, paulit-ulit yun. Naglalagay ka either sa bote, sa alkansya, or sa bangko every now and then. Pwedeng lalagay ka halimbawa 20 pesos daily or 100 pesos weekly. If you have work, let's say, that you want to save 1,000 a month para dito sa travel goals mo. Or maybe you're planning naman for your child's education. You might want to save 10,000 pesos every quarter. Diba? So, meaning to say, whatever the intention was, ang flinex mo dyan sa IG is that you want to make regular payments at regular time intervals. Right? Okay, so the first objective natin is to define annuity. And then, for sure, the first thing that you'll do will be to search sa Google. So, I have it here. Annuity is a noun that pertains to a fixed sum of money paid to someone each year, typically for the rest of their life. So, he left her an annuity of $1,000 in his will. So, for example, yung daddy ni Princess Sarah, namatay. Tapos, yung stepmom niya, yun yung magre-receive ng $1,000 kada taon galing yun dun sa last will and testament ng daddy ni Sarah. Yan. So, it is also a form of insurance or investment, entitling the investor to a series of annual sums. Or, in short, annuity plan. Yan. So, this one, maganda yan eh. Kung entitled ka sa mga investments, like insurance plan, education funds, life plans, etc. And syempre, we also translate annuity sa Tagalog. Sabi, yun daw yung halaga ng kinikita sa isang taon. Tama yun eh. Kasi, diba, yung word na annuity is from annum. Pero, do not limit yourself sa annual compounding lang ha. Later, makikita niyo yan sa formula. So, annuity is not limited to annual compounding only. Yan. So, ito muna mga examples. Baka kasi nangyari na talaga sa inyo. Halimbawa, the first picture, yan. Kumuha ka ng motor, hulugan. Sabi sa'yo, ganito babayaran mo monthly, boss ha. So, kung alam mo yung annuity, pwede mo palang i-check or i-solve kung magkano. Paano? Gamitin mo yung cash price. And then, yung interest na binigay nila sa'yo. Pwede rin naman, the second photo, nasa mall ka, di ba? May lumapit sa'yo, may dalang paper bag ng chef tones, popcorn. May credit card ka na po. Kaya nainganyo ka. So, to cut it short, kumuha ka ng credit card and then nag-shopping ka. Kasi, babayaran mo naman yun in installment eh. Kung alam mo yung annuity, pwede mong i-check ngayon kung magkano yung total ng babayaran mo monthly compared kapag nag-cash payment ka. Then, another photo, insurance. Yan. So, yung long lost friend mo, bigla nag-chat sa'yo sa FB. My friend, insured ka na ba? And so on and so forth. So, in short, we got the offer of insurance. Sabi niya, magbabayad ka weekly ha, ganitong amount. Tapos, makakakuha ka ng lump sum na ganitong amount na disgrasya ka, and so on and so forth. So, that's another application ng annuity. Gets? So, formally, I'll be reading on the next slide to you some definitions of annuity that you might want to keep in mind. So, annuity is a strategy for saving a little bit of money in the present and then having a big payoff in the future. Annuity involves an account in which equal regular payments are made, and then annuity has equal cash flows at equal time intervals. So to sum up, annuity is a level stream of cash flows for a fixed period of time. Each payment is for the same amount. The time between payments should always be the same. So the second objective is about the types of annuity. I'll be reiterating that there are several types of annuity, but for now let's be limited to two of the annuity types involved over a finite period of time. So meaning may katapusan, hindi forever. So the first one is the ordinary annuity. It is based on the payments made at the end of the period. While on the other hand, we have annuity due, wherein payments are made at the beginning of the payment period. So you try to say what type of annuity are these two examples. The first one, here you have yung mga savings plan and loan contract. Diba upon signing, you are not required to make a payment. So that is an example of, yes, ordinary annuity. But for the second one, yung mga lease and rental contract, usually makikita mo yan sa mga ads. So, required yung 1 month advance, 1 month deposit, meaning that there is a payment at the beginning. Yes, agad-agad. So, that is annuity due. Pag nagbabayad at the end, that is ordinary annuity. Pag nagbabayad at the beginning, that is annuity due. So, let's focus first dun sa unang type of annuity. So, we have the ordinary annuity. For now, I'll be giving sample problems which I do not intend to solve. What I want is, pakita sa inyo na kapag nakabasa kayo ng ganitong word problem, you should know that it involves solution for ordinary annuity. First is the savings plan. So, if I put 500 pesos in the bank at the end of each quarter for 15 years, how much will I have when I retire? This problem is very common. Diba yung mga parents natin na may pension or lump sum na nakuha after you retire, yung payment contributions at the end of each quarter, that is an ordinary annuity. So, next, mga future value of future cash flows valuation. If I want to be a billionaire or millionaire, how much do I have to put in the bank at the end of each week? And then, lastly, yung mga loan periodic payment. So, if I take out a loan of 190,000 pesos and place 1,000 pesos at the end of each month at 10% interest compounded monthly, how long should the loan be paid off? So, the installment payments at the end of every month is also an ordinary annuity. So, question, paano po pag hindi nakalagay na at the end? Kasi dito sa mga pinakita kong problem, may keyword tayo, diba? At the end of each quarter, at the end of each week, at the end of each month. Paano pag wala yung keyword na yan? Well, it's safe to say na ordinary annuity siya. Okay? So, the next objective, ito na. Yung third objective natin is to solve problems involving annuity. So, in order to do that, it would be useful to apply yung CFD or cash flow diagram. So, just a quick recap. Diba yung CFD parang vector diagram lang din. So vector meaning we have a direction. So for now, for the sake of this discussion, we will assume that the cash outflow will go downward, while the cash inflow will go up. So dito sa diagram natin, lahat ng mga A or annuity will go downward since again, di ba, yung annuity sa regular payments, pinabayaran mo. So, lumalabas sa iyo yung pera. Then, if we want to solve for the future worth, remember, we will be going right to obtain the needed focal date, while if we want to solve for the present worth, we'll be back on the left focal points. Huwag nyo lang kalimutan here na yung P natin ilalagay sa CFD 1 period ahead. So, we have here 0 and then period 1. Yung present worth natin will be 1 period ahead dahil yung payment was made at the end of the period. Okay, so let's now proceed with a sample problem. How much money will you accumulate by the end of year 10 if you deposit 3,000 pesos each for the next 10 years in a savings account that earns 5% per year? So, sabi at the end of each year. So, at the end of year 10. Pero tingnan muna natin yung problem as regular compounding. Balikan natin. Gamit natin yung formula for compound interest. F is equal to P multiplied by the factor of 1 plus I raised to N. So, makukuha natin dyan yung yearly value. This one in the table. Hindi ko may isa-isahin. Pero try nyo pa rin i-solve kung marami naman kayong time. So, dito sa table, you can see the value in time. Para sa payment ng 3,000 at the end of first year, I have 3,000 multiplied by 1 plus 0.05 raised to 10 minus 1. Yung exponent niya is 10 minus 1 kasi nagko-compound na lang yun minus 1 year. Or, ang natitirang compounding interest niya will be over 9 years. On the other side, sa payment na 3,000 pa rin by the end of year 8 naman, ang exponent na will be 10 minus 8. Meaning, 2 years na lang siyang magko-compound. Right? So, by that, you should observe that the earlier cash flows, diba? Ito, we have 4,6, 4,4, 4,2, 4K, up to 3K. The earlier cash flows have higher future values because they have more years to earn interest. So, year 1 cash flow natin can earn 9-year interest. So, year 5 cash flow can earn 5-year interest. While sa year 10 cash flow natin does not earn any interest at all. So, ngayon, meron ka ng mga values ng future worth every end of the year. Itong row na to, you have those values. What you need to do is just to find its summation. So there, you'll be able to get the final answer na 27,733.68 pesos. So what does that mean? So dito sa problem na to, sabi, yung 27,733 pesos and 68 centavos is now the value of your 3,000 pesos deposited yearly for 10 years at 5% interest. Kasi diba, pwedeng at first glance, isipin mo, magbabayad ako ng 3K kada taon. So, after 10 years, supposedly, times 10 lang dapat yun, diba? Pero naging 37K plus. So, bakit? Kasi nga, merong interest yung savings mo. Okay? So, going back, yun yung first method natin to solve this kind of problem. But since the problem, sabi, nagde-deposit ka yearly or per year. Meaning, you have a regular payment. You have regular time interval. 3,000 pesos regular payment. And then, yearly regular time interval. So, dyan papasok ngayon na ordinary annuity nga siya. So, let's try another method. So, first, let's write muna yung mga given. So we have N is equal to the period na 10 years. And then we have the A or annuity na 3,000 pesos yearly. And then the interest I is equal to 5% or 0.05. And then we just need to find the future rate or UF. So let's draw the CFD first. So we have here 0, 1, 2, 3. So continuous lang yan. We have 4, and then so on. Regular time interval. So next, di ko na ilalagay ha, basta continuous yan. We just have here yung n minus 1, which is 10 minus 1 or 9, and then yung n na 10. So yan yung period natin. And then yung downward arrows natin, which is the annuity. So we have 3,000 or simply 3K. And then another 3K, 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 and continuous ulit yan na 3K. Lastly, we have 3K. Okay, so yun yung CFT natin. So this will be the formula that we'll use. You can also find this over the internet and on your mouse tools. So F is equal to A multiplied by the quantity of 1 plus I raised to T, then minus 1 all over I. So input natin sa calculator. Okay. So, yan, we have 3,000 times 1 plus 0.05 raised to 10. Then minus 1 all over 0.05. So that's it. Ang answer natin is 37,733.68 pesos. If you have observed, it also has the same value that we got using only yung compounding interest formula natin as the earlier slide. Nag-add natin lahat, diba? So the same 37K plus pesos. So it's up to you actually which method you will use, but I suggest you use the formula. Especially kasi if you have higher periods, diba? Kasi what if a problem asks you to find the accumulated amount by the end of 50 years? So, magko-compounding formula ka pa rin ba? Yes, okay lang. Possible yun. Pero matagal yung process. Kaya ito, try solving practice problem 1. So, I suggest after I read the problem, stop niyo muna yung video. Then solve it on your own. So, how much money will be accumulated by the end of year 5 if an OFW deposits $2,000 at the end of each year in a savings account that earns 10% per year? Okay, you try to solve it first. Okay, so the solution using the compounding formula is here. Yan, diba? it's using the formula na f is equal to p multiplied by 1 plus I raised to n. And then, kung meron kayong yearly value nila, you can just sum it up. Well, in using the formula for annuity and for the future word, so you will also get the same answer. We have the final answer na 12,210.20. So, that will be the future value after mag-deposit ng OFW ng 2,000 pesos, $2,000 yearly at 10% interest. Okay, so you should get the same value either kung gumamit kayo ng compound interest formula or just the annuity formula. So, once again, I'll be showing to you the formula to solve the future worst ng ordinary annuity. So, that would be f is equal to a multiplied by 1 plus I raised to t minus 1 all over I. Where f is equal to the future worst or monetary unit. Pesos man yan or dollars, yen, pounds, basta amount ng money. And then a is for annuity, which is monetary unit. Then, I is the interest rate in percent, and T is for the time or period in years. But of course, sabi nga natin kanina, yung annuity by default, yes, annum or yearly. Kaya sa formula na yan, yung time natin na T should be in years. Pero, again, hindi lang limited sa yearly payments or yearly interest. So, you can also use this formula. If you remember, yung nominal rate of interest natin. So, this is f is equal to a multiplied by 1 plus r over m raised to mn minus 1 all over r over m. Wherein instead of just using I, we will be using r or yung nominal rate of interest divided by the compounding period. So, nominal interest, yan yung kapag meron kang compounded semi-annually, so you'll be using m is equal to 2, compounded quarterly, that is 4, compounded bi-monthly is 6, compounded monthly is 12, compounded weekly 52, and then 365 for daily compounding. Okay, so again, this is 4, and this one is for compounding annually or yearly, while the second one is, which is technically the same, pero para lang siya sa other compounding period. So, let's proceed to our next sample problem. Here, your grandmother has offered to give you 1,000 pesos per year for the next 10 years. What is the value of this 10-year annuity discounted back to the present at 5%? So, yung problem parang ganito. You have an annuity, that series of payments, but you need cash now. Kailangan mo ng cash ngayon. So, yung problem, basically, bibigyan ka niya ng 1K yearly. Gusto mo nang malaman yung present worth ng mga annuity na yun. So, bagong formula tayo kasi present worth. We have, for present worth, we have P is equal to A multiplied by 1 minus 1 plus I raised to negative T all over I. Again, we're going to find your present value. Meaning, kung in terms of CFD, pabalik tayo sa left side. Kaya yung exponent natin for the time will be negative. So, sa calcu, we have 1,000 multiplied by 1 minus 1 plus 0.05 raised to negative 10 all over 0.05. Yan. So, yung answer natin will be 7,721.73 pesos. So, imagine yung 1K ni Lola na supposedly for 10 years, ang present worth lang niya will be 7,721 pesos and 73 centavos. So, it will definitely be better to wait na mag-accumulate na lang siya by the end of the years together with the interest. Okay, so next sample problem. You try to solve this, ha? Yan. So, suppose you plan to get 9 pesos loan from a furniture dealer at 18% annual interest with annual payments that you will pay off in over 5 years. What will your annual payments be on this loan? Okay. So, again, this involves present worth. Kasi, kuha ka ng loan, definitely yung present value, yun yung hawak mo. But this time, the problem asks for the value of annual payments. Ano yung annuity? Kano yung huhulugan mo? So, using the same formula, yan, we have P is equal to A multiplied by 1 minus 1 plus I raised to negative T all over I. Let's just input sa calcu yung X as the value of annuity sa calculator. Okay, so ulitin natin. We have 9,000 para dun sa P is equal to X for the annuity multiplied by the fraction of 1 minus 1 plus 0.18 raised to negative 5 all over the interest na 0.05 and then shift solve. So nag-shift solve na lang tayo. So X is equal to 2,878 pesos. Pag nag-loan ka ng 9K, maghuhulog ka ng 2,878 pesos yearly for 5 years. So, summary of formula involving present worth. So, this one is to solve present worth pag given na yung annuity. And then, I suggest you need to solve number of period given present worth or unknown ang N. If you need to solve that, wag na mag-shift solve kasi matagal. Tapos, minsan pag sumusuko yung calcu. So, let's just use this derived formula. Use N is equal to the ln of 1 minus the present worth multiplied by the interest over the annuity raised to negative 1 all over the ln of 1 plus I. Yan, simple lang, diba? Yan yung formula para malaman mo kung ilang beses mong babayaran, how many times, or the number of period. Okay, so practice problem ulit. I highly suggest to try solving this first. So, an individual is attempting to determine how many payments would be needed if they ordered someone 19,660 pesos at an effective rate of 1% per month. The periodic payment needed by the individual is 1,000 pesos per month. So, using the formula, you should get 21.9995 or 22. Supposedly, dapat ang makukuha niyong value should end in 0.999 or 0.000 para estimately makuha niyo siya as whole number. Kasi hindi mo naman pwedeng sabihin, nagbabayad ako ng 21.8 times or 21.4 times, diba? Dapat whole number. Nagbabayad ako 22 times, diba? The individual here need to pay 1,000 pesos 22 times or for 22 periods. So, just don't forget this. And kung makikita nyo, the same naman sila. Yung per month and then per month. It is important kasi that the payment period must match the period used for the rate. So, yung payment period, magbabayad ng 1,000 pesos per month. And then, yung period used for the rate is 1% per month din. So, dapat pareho yung payment period and then rate period. So, for the next practice problem, you try to stop the video to solve first, okay? Hi, SpongeBob. Okay, here, so you are planning to build your dream house. But in order to do it, you will need to take out 1 million pesos. 30-year housing loan at an annual rate of 6%. What will your monthly payments be? So once again, check the payment rate and rate period. They should be the same. Paano dito? Sabi, annual rate yung given. Rate period is for per year, and then your payment period is per month. Sabi, kailangan, diba, they should be the same. So, just using the nominal rate, compounded siya monthly. So, divided by 12. So, yung annual rate na 6% divided by 12. So, we have here 0.06 over 12 raised to negative mn or negative 12 multiplied by 30 years na housing loan. So, to get the annuity A, here, just divide the present worth na 1 million by the remaining factors from the right side. So, your final answer should be 5,995 pesos and 51 centavos. Meaning, magbabayad ka buwan-buwan ng 5,995.51 sa loob ng 30 years para sa loan mo na 1 million pesos. Okay lang, diba? Kasi nabuo mo naman yung dream house mo. Okay, so, water break first. Kung nahirapan na, pahinga muna saglit, tapos laban ulit. So, for now, let's try to compare the CFD of ordinary annuity to our second type of annuity, yung annuity due. So, of course, they both have series of payments A, pero this time, nag-start na siyang maghulog at the start of the period. So, instead of 1, makikita nyo sa 0 pa lang, may annuity na agad. In which, yung annuity kasi, for annuity due is the annuity in which all the cash flows occur at the beginning of the period. For example nga, yung rent payments natin ng apartments are typically annuity due, as rent is paid at the beginning of the month. Therefore, the computation of the future value or the present value of an annuity due requires compounding the cash flows for one additional period beyond an ordinary annuity. Yung annuity, meron kay focal zero, unlike kay original na hindi siya naghulog agad sa start. Kaya meron tayong extra period compared to ordinary annuity. So, makikita nyo yun dito from F1 to F. And then, ulitin ko ha, yung annuity due cash flows takes place at the beginning of each period. So, kung paano siya na-adjust sa CFT, ganun din yung effect niya sa formula. The immediate payment requires that we account its impact on the future value and the present value correctly. So, meron lang tayong basic adjustment. So, this is the formula to solve the future worth and this is the formula to solve the present worth. So, anong napansin nyo? Yes, we will just treat the annuity as if it were an ordinary annuity and then determine the future worth or the present worth just by multiplying the answer by 1 plus I. Kasi nga, we have one additional period, diba? Yung first part ng formulas natin was definitely galing kay ordinary annuity. We just multiplied it by the factor of 1 plus I. Yung annuity kasi natin at the beginning, since start siya ng period, hindi pa compounded yung interest niya. Kaya yung factor lang natin will be 1 plus I. So, on this slide, I'll be showing a CFD, then try to answer some questions based on the given diagram. Yan. So, we have 400 pesos annuity. Okay. Considering the cash flow diagram above, this is a 5-year annuity due. Is it true or false? So, it is true as he paid 400 pesos 5 times. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is a 5-year annuity due. Next, when you compute the future worth, it is computed at the end of year 4. Is it true or false? So, false. Why? Nag-start ang annuity payment mo at year 0. Diba? Meron kang 5 payments. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 payments. That ends in year 4. So, payment at year 0, year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4. That's 5 times 5 beses. Dito sa CFD, label siya as F1 or yung first focal natin. Mismong annuity pa lang yun. Ang future worth ng annuity mo should be yung F kay CFD. Yan, so ilalagay natin siya at by the end of year 5. Okay, so once again, when you compute the future worth for this CFD, it should be computed at the end of year 5. Okay, so next sample problem for annuity due. Dito solve na tayo, ha? Kunyari nanalo ka sa loto. Wow, sana all. Well, congrats. Yung cash prize mo, yung prize money mo daw, ibibigay sa'yo in equal annual installments of 333,333 pesos and 33 centavos sa loob ng 30 years. Sa interest na 5%, magkano ang actual worth ng lottery today? So, let's use the formula for present worth since yung value niya today ang hinahanap. So, we have 333.33 multiplied by the fraction of 1 minus 1 plus 0.05 raised to negative 30 over 0.05, then times 1 plus 0.05. Okay, so the answer is 5,380,357 pesos and 81 centavos. Yan yung value ng napalanunan mo. In the next slides will be practice problems for you to solve. So, Riri makes rental payments of 7,500 per month and wants to know the present value of her annual rentals over a 12-month period. The payments are made at the start of each month. The current interest rate is 7% per annum, so try doing it first. Okay, just be mindful that the payment period and rate period are different. You should have used the formula with nominal rates. So, magbabayad kasi yung payment period mo is monthly and then yung interest naman is yearly. So, magkaiba yung period. Okay? So, upon using the formula, you should get 87,184.03 pesos. Then, pag tinrawing siya in CFD, lagay tayo ng downward arrows for annuity. So, 12 arrows dapat, diba? Tapos, your payment will be in month 0 up to 11. Okay, yan. So, ilan na tong arrows? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have 12 arrows for our 12 annual payments. And then, yung first payment natin or yung first arrow will be in month 0. Then, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then the last payment will be on month 11. So, kita nyo, napuna natin yung 12 arrows since that is a total of 12 payments already. Kasi nga, ulit-ulit, diba? Yung annuity due is sa beginning of period ang start. So, yung 0 to 12, yun yung period. Remember, hindi siya annual payments. Monthly payment yun ni Riri for her rent. Yan. So, yan yung period. Hindi siya years. That's in months. And then, we will be using, upward arrows. Okay, so upward arrows for both our present worth and future worth. Yan. So, upward arrows. So, that's it. So, once again, the present value of Riri's annual rental is 87,184 pesos and 3 centavos. Okay, so let's have one last practice problem. Sana nagsosolve kayo ah. Okay, so you were offered to invest 3,500 pesos every 6 months for 4 years to purchase a delivery motorcycle. The investment will be compounded at an annual interest rate of 12% per annum. The initial investment will be made now and thereafter at the beginning of every 6 months. So what is the future value of the cash flow payments? So ito, hulog ang motor. May payment ka every 6 months for 4 years at 12% annual interest. Magkano daw yung future worth ng mga hulog mo? Take note, magkaiba yung periods. Ang given is ito, annual interest rate, yearly. Pero, every 6 months yung payment mo. So, hopefully, ang formula na ginamit nyo ay ganito. Okay, for solving. Sige, so, we have yung 3,500 pesos na investment mo annually multiplied by 1 plus 12% per annum, 0.12 divided by 2. Kasi nga, every 6 months yung payment. So, raised to 2 times 4 years. Minus 1 all over 0.12 over 2. Again, over 2 kasi every 6 months or semi-annually. So, times 1 plus 0.12 over 2. So, you'll get the answer na 36,719.61. Hindi palaging sinasabi na semi-annually. So, isipin nyo every 6 months. So, that is 2 times compounding. Okay. So, wow, we're almost done. Summarize lang natin. Kahit inulit-ulit na natin kanina. Para lang mas tumatak sa isip. Char. Okay, so first, the ordinary annuity payments are made at the end of the period, while annuity due payments are made at the start of each period. Number 2, the present value of annuity due is higher than 1 for ordinary annuity. Actually, result kasi yon ng time value of money, kung naalala nyo yung principle nun, diba? As annuity due payments are received earlier. Kaya multiplying present value of ordinary annuity with 1 plus I shifts the cash flows 1 period back towards time 0. So the annuity due's future value is also higher by a factor. Each cash flow is compounded for 1 additional period compared to an ordinary annuity. So lastly, you will benefit from getting ordinary annuity by holding onto your money longer. And then, you will benefit from annuity due naman as you will be able to receive your money sooner. For this, in an annuity due kasi, each payment is discounted 1 less period in contrast to a similar ordinary annuity, diba? Yung start and end. So, pili na lang kayo, matagal or mabilis. Yan. So, the last slide will be to wrap up this session. Merong ulit solution dito using compounding interest formula, then compare nyo yung ordinary annuity and annuity due para makita nyo yung mga sinabi nung sa summary kanina. And I highly suggest you try solving this $5,000 investment at 5% annual interest using the formula for annuity. Itong nasa left column natin is ordinary annuity. So, future, present, ordinary annuity. Then, we have annuity due at the right half. So, future, and then present annuity due. Anyway, this photo was taken from investopedia.com. Okay, so that's all. Bye.